Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Pisces, it's wonderful to see you. It is, hot. It's also the solstice today, the first day of summer. You know, we had such a long day yesterday. It was bright until, I don't know, 11:30 at night. But I woke up to just a deluge, right? A lot of water. Didn't have to go out and water the garden. The skies did that for me. So I know that this is going to be a most blessed cycle and one of abundance. And I feel like, you know, in contrast to the way the world feels right now, and it has for a minute, right? I feel that, you know, a lot of us, if you are going, you know, you're into summer now, we're into summer, or if you're into winter in the South, of course, I don't forget about you. Never would I. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are getting to that point where we say, I'm tired of a lot of this. I'm tired of it, and I'm not going to live this way anymore, you know? So we look for where we can change things. And oftentimes, and I know I'm not a very extroverted person. So when I think about what is within my power, I see myself. And that's about it. I mean, I can do whatever I can to keep my family going and you know, trying to manage that as much as possible. Now I have a young child, so of course I have to make a lot of decisions. But ultimately, I'm not in control of anybody or any dynamic or any grouping or you know, anything beyond myself. And so I choose to work inward. I choose to heal myself. I choose to find little happiness, little joy, little moments to count my blessings, to be grateful. Because, baby, I'm tired of wasting my time. I don't know about you, but I am tired of wasting my time. All right. Now we got that death card, okay? And you know what? This actually, I just have to say, shout out to all of the ladies out there doing content on like perimenopause, menopause era. I love the vibe. And you know what? I'm getting there. I'm right there. The door is creaking open on this lady. And I have to say, I am pretty much feeling it's time to focus on me now, right? It's time to get my hopes, desires, dreams prioritized, you know, and align that with everything else that's going on in my life. And yeah, so shout out to those ladies. There are a lot. If you are, you know, of around my age, 40 and above, you know, I suggest you start looking at some of these empowering messages. And I should start posting some, you know. Now, we have the death card. So that means an ending. Period. Simple. We're not going to go into it deeply. Don't be afraid of the death card. Don't be afraid of it. It means something that does not serve us any longer is out of here. Now, does that always feel good? No, of course not. But sometimes it's most necessary, isn't it? Sometimes we just hold on because it's what we know. It's what feels familiar. All right, let's take a look. I know we had a long opening, but you know what? I feel that's okay because it's a holiday. It's a gateway, a portal that we're in. Now we have that. Oh, look at that! It looks like a skeleton. It looks like the king. Look, how ridiculous is this? With the crown and everything. My goodness, my word. Okay, so we have the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the crown. Okay, now you can't see the skeleton's face, but you've seen a skeleton, so yeah, you can imagine. Now next to it, we do have is it the rooster? No, it doesn't look like the rooster. It looks like a bird. So we have a messenger. We have a messenger. We have, for certain, the death energy, right? Which is also Chronos, Saturn, and it makes sense. Now we think of the solstices like when you're going through the summer solstice. We think of the solstice as being, okay, this is the peak of summer, longest day of the year. It's hot, it's bright, everything's lush and beautiful. Or if you're in an arid place, maybe a little less so. Maybe it's real dry. But really, it's kind of the stirrings of Saturn waking up too. Because technically, the days are getting shorter now. We hit that peak. Now we're getting shorter and shorter until we get into those December months, right? So Saturn is stirring, and that seems evident. Not always a bad thing, though. Saturn is not always like this doom and gloom. Everything is, archaic and decaying, and this kind of morose energy. Now, there can be that, but Saturn is also legacy. Saturn is also building something that lasts. Saturn is that fortified inner temple, the devotion, the absolute devotion to your will, to your way. And that, with this messenger bird, really, it makes me believe that as you are going through this cycle, and I feel maybe, kind of looking over some of the past things, I feel like you are finding your voice. I feel that you are getting ready to tell your story, whatever that is. If that's your life story, if that is a story, of your family, of your people, maybe within your interests, your career. It might be that you are somebody who is doing fiction, writing a book. Maybe you're out here interviewing people. That's actually something that really interests me. I'm thinking about starting some interviews. I really want to. If you're interested in hearing me interview, other practitioners and music, a lot. I'm really into music, so music would also be a big thing. But put it in the comments. Let me know. Are you interested? Would you listen to that if I started another project doing that? So we have the message. And as we turn this, we have a person riding on a horse. You can see here's the horse. Here's the person. Now, it almost seems we have the letters C and G. We have a person holding over here the Ace of Cups, which is the Holy Grail. This is a vessel of the emotional waters. So it seems to me that you are moving towards a situation where you feel emotionally safe. It is a person that you can be yourself with. You can fully express yourself, reveal yourself, those deeper places. Even the ones we're afraid to show people. Even the ones that we're afraid of ourselves. You know, when we really, in those late night moments, say that thing or express that thing, you know, that even we stop and think, whoa, where did that come from? We all have them. You know, we all have them. And, you know, this is oftentimes what we would call the shadow. You know, but as somebody who, and you're here, you're watching divination, and that leads me to believe that you are at least somebody who is open to the idea of spirituality, esoteria, the divine, you know, the unseen, the mystery, all these things. Now, I feel for you, this last year must have been hard. I mean, something happened. I don't know if it was an event or if it was a deeper awakening. Like, I think you were already in your awakening journey, but I feel like you hit a place where you had to do some deep work. And it manifested in your life, as it does, through our ordeals. And you got yourself through it. And not only did you get through it, I think you've processed and integrated some really important stuff. And that's why I think you are so close to the shadow. Not that you are dwelling in these kind of deviant places or, you know, just fully indulging your desires and proclivities and these kinds of things. No. I feel that you've been brave and you've been looking at some of your behaviors, both in the past and in the current, right? Through your coping mechanisms, your, you know, maybe, I feel like a lot of times it'll manifest as anger, moments of rage, self-destruction, even being destructive within your relationships. You know, I know that I definitely struggle with this at times. I've had to do a lot of work not to sabotage relationships, you know, both romantic and otherwise. And why do we do that? Because it's familiar. Because it keeps us feeling safe. We're close, but not too close. The push, the pull, all that kind of stuff, right? But you get to a place, I think, and you've had some life and you've had some ordeals. And you start to realize, like, I'm not gaining any time here. I am not, you know, getting any younger. So we move along and we do the work. And that's, I think, where you're at. I feel that this is manifesting through a relationship as well, right? Like we said, I feel you going towards somebody who you feel emotionally secure with. And I feel that this will be kind of that first real deep connection since you've gone through these ordeals of the last year or so. Now, will it be perfect? Will you do all the right things? Probably not. No one does. I don't care how healed, enlightened, how a guru you are. We all make mistakes. We're all figuring it out. We're all going through that extended healing, individuation, self-alchemy, ascension, whatever you want to call it. And it's not perfect. In fact, a lot of times it's really ugly. I'm glad that we've left our follow your bliss pop spirituality. Because that's fun, of course. Of course, we need those moments. Or what are we doing? But man, that deep work, you are going subterranean, baby. You are in that labyrinth. You are in those haunted places within self, within your histories, within your lineage. And it doesn't always look good. It doesn't always feel good. But I see you, Pisces, and I see you have heart. You have heart. And I feel that you will be traveling alongside somebody who maybe has some of the same goals for themselves. And I do. I think having a companion to some degree, or somebody to check in with, this is something that is going to be helpful for you, most definitely. Now, we also have the letter K right here, okay? K, maybe a K name. We also have the number 323, if that means anything to you. Now, this is kind of an odd one. It maybe won't resonate with everybody. But I feel that there's a tree, like a real tree, physical world tree, of some importance to you. I don't know if this is like your favorite tree growing up in like your parents' yard, or, maybe when you first moved into the place that you live, you met a tree and you were like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes you just have these very special connections with things, right? And trees, for sure. Those are some of the best backyard spirits, is what I like to call them. The intelligences that live with us. We're all interconnected. And trees are like literally talking to each other, through their roots, through their limbs, their movements. They take care of each other. If you haven't read deeply about the socializing of trees and the communication and their systems of support for one another, ready to have your mind blown. Go look it up. Look on YouTube. There's plenty of videos about it. But anyways, I think that there's a tree in your life. Now, it feels like maybe something happened with it. I don't know if it was damaged, or there's been fear of, it being sick, or maybe there's development happening and you're worried that they're going to take it down, or, whatever it is. Now, here's the thing. I think that it will survive this ordeal, but not in the way that you necessarily imagine or hope for, right? But it will still suffice. So I don't, this might be a situation where part of the tree is taken off and you think, okay, well, now it's like basically a tall stump or something. But then, by next year, there's more tree growing out of it. Have you ever seen that, where they cut down a tree and then it starts growing again? Despite everything, right? And I do, and I feel like it is a true symbol in your life as well. Of course, this is very symbolic, but I do feel like this is tied to a literal physical tree. Okay, so if you do have a situation like this, or you have had in the past, now you can't know for sure if it will be in the future, but maybe, right? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Now, over here, I feel that we have this really big personality, patriarchal personality, chief, ruler, emperor, leader, the eyes. I just think the eyes. It's like a grandfather or something. Maybe an uncle. Somebody you felt close enough to, friend of the family maybe, growing up, that you could really have conversations with them, ask them about their life, advice. If you ever felt lost, you knew where to go, right? This was a person that was going to give it to you straight. They were going to be honest, and they were going to give you all of the advice and tools that they could. Now, I think that they have transitioned. They are not in their physical form anymore. But we have the eye right here. I know that they watch you. We have their head right here. Here's like a long, it kind of almost reminds me of a goatee. The eye, the nose, the mouth in here. Side profile looking towards where the tree would be. We also have what looks like L-E or L-O-C. No. It looks like lace. L-A, excuse me. C-E. Lace. Or lacy, maybe? Lace, lacy. It could be loke. Loke, maybe. I don't know. But we also have a person praying. Okay. And talking to a bird right here. And we have the Saturn. Look at the Saturn right there. It's the like H with the little cross. That's the alchemical symbol for Saturn, or lead. So I feel like this is maybe a Capricorn person. I feel like maybe they are Capricorn. Just gives that energy. Now, I feel like they're with you. They absolutely watch over you. I feel like you were their special person, like they mentored you. You had a deep connection. I feel that you were with them even as they aged and got older. You always checked in. You were always, even if like you went off to college, you would call, once a week or whatever it was. And I feel like they're going to be with you. Not just through this life, but into the next. And I feel like you feel them. And I'm asking, like I want some details here. And I keep seeing like a green bowl, almost like a candy dish. That like colored glass, that green color from like the 70s, 60s, 70s. And it just a house that is empty and quiet, dark. Like they kept the blinds closed often. And I think that to me, the bowl is empty. Where I felt like, okay, maybe if they were like going to have somebody over, there would be something there. But it's almost kind of like they withdrew. Like, I don't feel like this person was a very, not overly social person, but around. Just kind of posted up. Wherever there was a gathering, they would be there, but they're not necessarily, they're like holding court at times, you know, where everybody's standing around and they're talking and, you know, kind of leading the conversation. But I feel like in those last days, you were the only person that they would see. And I feel like even being like the head of a family or a group of people or whatever, there was a certain amount of pain for them realizing that they had all these people in their life, and yet in these times, not a lot of people checking in or taking the time. And I think that's where it kind of, the closing off, to go off and have their final days, their final months or years, kind of, you know, in their own world. But you were allowed in. And I think that is the big thing that they're showing. And I think that's important. That's very important. Okay, so we also have, somebody proposing. My goodness, look at that. We have a person kneeling here. We have a person here. And we have the heart. Now, we have another person over here kind of watching what's going on. And what is that? It looks like it says... There's anger. Right here. It looks like a person, and they almost look like they're drinking something. If you can see, like they have their arm is here. It's bringing up a cup to their mouth, and their arm is out. And look at that finger. Can you guess what finger that might be? Can you guess what they might be saying with that finger? If you can figure out which one it is. All right. Well, I feel we have a complicated union right here. I don't think this is you. I wonder if this is like your adult child, or, you know, a friend or a family member or whatever. But whatever it is, they got together with somebody under some wild circumstances that I don't know that they're hiding. But I know you know what's up. And this is like maybe like they had like, you know, like an affair or something, and ended up getting married, you know, during the fallout of a broken marriage or something like that. Or, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to say this is like full Jerry Springer type stuff, but I do feel like where they're like, why isn't everybody happy for us? Everybody else is looking like, do you not see like how painful all of this has been for you know, like, do you not realize like what the heck is going on? There is the energy of another person, so that's why I wonder if it is like kind of like there was an infidelity, because they feel very close to the situation, still kind of a part of it. I feel like for you, honestly, like watching this play out, of course you care about the person involved here that, you know, is part of your life, and maybe your family or one of your kids or whatever, a friend. But I think also for you, and I know I'm going to sound terrible saying this, but I think you look at the situation and think, thank God I'm so glad this has nothing to do with me, like on a deeper level. I'm so glad that I'm not in a situation like this, you know, and maybe it is. Maybe you found your person, maybe you've been married for a long time and you just kind of, you know, you're happy to have like a consistent, stable thing going, and it's, you know, you don't like to rock the boat too much, just kind of chill and live and all of that. Or maybe, you know, maybe you're kind of single. Maybe you're super happy being single. Maybe you know, widowed, divorced, just disillusioned by dating or trying to connect to people or whatever. If I don't stay with my husband for some odd reason, I hope I do, of course. He's amazing. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. But God forbid, and God willing that everything stays as it is and is, a pretty wonderful marriage. Heck yeah, I could see being alone for the rest of my life after, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. So, yeah, I feel like it is kind of this, like, I'm glad it's not me going through that, and usually when we say something like that, it's because we've been through something. We've been through some dramas, right? We've been the one that got cheated on. We've been, maybe, the less innocent party in there. I don't know. Is there somebody less innocent? I don't know. But anyways, maybe you've been involved in something that has been complicated, and you are trying to live a post-complicated life. A simplistic and easy, of course, life is never easy, but a life that isn't more difficult just because it is, right? Simplifying things, minimizing the trouble, right? Okay, now we have 100 for our first lucky number. Now we have number 8, 108, and 41. 41. Where'd you go? There it is. 41. All right. Let's see, what are we going to do? Our wild bohemian affirmation cards. And now I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right, and we'll turn this thing over. It says 24. I am divine truth. Stretch, expand, open, and breathe. Love is space, and there's plenty for you. Love is space, and there's plenty for you. Absolutely. Absolutely, as my daughter likes to say. All right. Well, Pisces, I want to tell you I love you because I do. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It's always such a pleasure. Thank you for sitting through that long intro. I know. I'm excited about this new season. I've been working on a little book. I'm hoping to have it done by August. I don't know. I don't know. I have to talk to my husband. I know he's been working on a book. I know I know for sure. I've watched him do it. No, he is working on a few projects, but yeah, I don't know. We've been talking about doing a little side publishing company maybe. I don't know. We're gonna see how we're gonna do it. But yeah, I've been excited about that. I've been excited about life and gardening and on my wellness journey, physical and doing deep shadow work, childhood trauma and inner child kind of stuff, which has been, it's been hard, but that's what the book's going to be about, right? That it's not about me. It's a book of prompts that I found useful, and exercises and things like that. So, yeah, and I'm interested. What are you guys working on? What are you doing? What do you have going? What is flowing with you? Or what are you dreaming about doing? That's always important too. Those stages of innovation and conceptualization and daydreaming and all of this stuff. So, anyways, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a prayer request, put that in the comments, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. Again, I love you, Pisces. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Good night.